All right. See if we are making noises. See if we are making the noises. All right. So let's see if I can get some stuff moved around in this one. So I moved, starting to slowly move off of the parking area here. Into so this is a load of industries landing pad. It's made for storage underneath it, except for the storage I tried to put underneath it didn't fit. So if you look up here, we have a nice little storage box with 7,000 liters in it. Here we go. It's already been a busy morning. We go to look down here. You see 10 expanded extra large containers. Kind of hanging out under the landing pad there. This thing here I've added get up there. This is another DRM free the DRM free set that you kind of use to build a building. I do like it. It looks very industrial and very nice. I don't know if I'm going to use it though, because it's dark. Kind of in the search for a new building, or at least a new set of plans to be able to build stuff. Let me go through and remove some of my ships. Too many constructs. Which constructs are still my name. I'll transfer that from your gaming. Basically, it's just a juggling act trying to get make sure I have enough things to do it. I'm gonna run through, make sure everything's transferred. All these ships are fine. Need to go. You're not detecting any input. We may take a slow boat operation. so much easier. To land that thing up here than it was my chair. All right, so we're gonna take. I'm just gonna slow boat this thing over to Haven. So what I want to do is I want to set my set that as my destination. What I'm gonna do is my AGG is already set up, so I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna basically set my AGG to take me outside of the atmosphere. And it's gonna be a slow transition. I'm gonna change. I could have brought warp cells with me, but in order to do this with warp cells, it would have been extremely expensive. So what will end up happening is I've had the AGG say that it wants to actually probably this thing's actually fairly fuel efficient because the AGG doesn't take any fuel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slowly transition up out of the atmosphere here, point towards. And honestly, I probably am going to change the engines on the back of this thing to freight engines. They're not as powerful, but they'd be a lot more fuel efficient. Especially when you're trying to move really large amount of stuff. Once I get up to about 4,500, then we'll be in space. And once I get, the space engines kick on, I can start moving a lot faster. Once that happens, I can look at speeding up. Like I can't go if I go over above 1,000 kilometers per hour right now. It's gonna get mad at me. My ship's gonna start burning up. GC is it's not like ridiculously slow. Like we're already at 2,000 meters, slowly kind of climbing. Obviously my lift is starting to get better at me. You have to be careful because if I get going too fast, I'll actually get out of the AGG bubble, and then gravity will start to take care over me. And you see the gravity is 0.1, 0.12. It's coming back down. But the further you get out of that bubble, the more gravity affects your ship, and depending on how over heavy you are, getting even start to picking up some gravity is enough to maybe pull you out of the bubble further and further, and then you start this sinusoidal wave, and you'll blow out of the bubble. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to the original base. Basically, I'm a pull. I have a factory there. I have a small base, and I have a the base on that one. I think produces extra small, medium, and medium cargo containers. It's meant for like if somebody joins and they're on Haven and they just need boxes, then they can get them there. The problem is it's never been used. And honestly, at this point, I would be better off just going, oh, you need boxes? Throwing them on my shuttle and just taking you boxes. So I'm going to go back. Probably pull. I had a storage box that I built. At the time, I was like, "Oh, these are massive!" Like I think it's like 10 like medium storage boxes, and I was very proud of myself. When I had 10 medium storage boxes to build stuff. To give you a comparison, this ship has 14 extra large cargo boxes on it. So I think 2 mediums is the same as 1 large. 2 large is the same as an extra large. So, like 3 boxes on this thing would carry the same as the base does down there. Or actually even carry more. And I have 14 extra large boxes on there. It's amazing how quickly you can progress, especially with some knowledge, because the manufacturing in this game definitely rewards you for being able to build a factory, and trying to get the factory set up correctly. Is the big thing. I'm probably gonna leave. Probably should have brought larger boxes with me. I don't think I didn't bring large boxes. I may just take some of the mediums and move them over to the to the mining rigs and move the surrogate pod down there, so I can go, because I haven't set the mining on this up for a bit, so I need to basically recalibrate the miners and probably keep them running, because I don't know. Maybe I'll pull it. The real issue is by leaving the stuff there. It's cores that I could be using for other things. So the cores that I have there are not. I don't use them, so it doesn't make sense to have cores there. Give it some beans. It kind of, once I get this thing out into space and it's slow boat. So, so what we're talking about is when you're running through the system here, and you're in this bubble, this blue bubble. Slow boating's not a bad deal, but what's happening is, like, if you go out here, this area here is all PvP space. It's outside the blue bubble. There's a blue bubble around Calamay, around the moons and stuff. But traveling between there, you're traveling through PvP space. And what some people will do is they have their radar set up with a cheat, basically, that outputs outputs the radar to a notepad, and what they'll do is they'll warp between the two locations. And if you're slow boating, you'll show up on the radar for you won't show up on their radar. The radar signal will be there, and the server sends the signal to the client, but it doesn't actually show up because you're going too fast. So what they'll do is they'll have that output it to a notepad, and they'll basically warp past you, and then they'll take those points, run it through a calculator, figure out where you're going to be at. They'll warp past you again, quit out of the game, and basically log back in. When they log back in, they'll just be setting your path in front of you. So then you're slow boating along with your cargo. The next thing you know, a pirate that should have never been able to see you is now sitting in front of your and blows you up and steals your shit. So it's important to stay out of the pipe, especially trying to, you don't want to be directly between two bodies and traveling, because that's how they find you. So the best way to do it is, like, if I was going to go, say, if I was going to go to Calamay and I needed to slow boat, or more likely, if I was at Calamay and I needed to get back to Alioth, right? What I do is, instead of heading straight for Alioth or heading straight for Thades or something, I would start and, like, aim towards the middle of the bubble someplace, just somewhere in here. So I would come up and I would start heading this direction, and then I would head this direction for a while, and then I would head over this direction, and I do this, like, zigzag, like, weird pattern. I change my courses and my speeds, and which is probably too much. I'm probably too worried about it, but I've only had to do it once. It was late at night. I won't slow boat through PvP space. on stream. It's just not. It's not a smart thing to do if you want to keep the ship. The best advice I heard is to not take anything to PvP space that you don't mind losing. So if you have a ship that you're going to be sad that you lose it, don't take it to PvP space. But I will say that, like, I haven't had any problems with PvP. Like, if this was Eve, I would have already, somebody would have already shown up and demanded protection money for my mine. I may convert this to a more of a pure AGG ship. Put more space engines on the back of it and less atmospheric. Because as it stands right now, like if this thing was loaded, I will never get it off the ground. But the issue is this is a hauler. It's made to carry ridiculous amounts of weight. I've had this thing in the atmosphere carrying 45 kilotons, and it was fine. Like it didn't care as long as the AGG was on. As soon as I took the AGG off, though, I would have created this thing into the. I would have changed the gravity of the planet. Like I would have hit the planet so hard I would have moved it. Like, all right, so there's the atmosphere. It's off. Slowly getting out of the atmosphere here. You'll see now that we're out of the atmosphere, we're gonna start increasing speed. And we'll get a actually it's gonna get mad at me in a minute because it doesn't think I'm far enough out. But the AGG, I could probably turn it off now. Even though it's still saying we're locked to AGG height. I'm not giving it the full beam yet. I could probably push through AGG. So the AGG is still trying to pull me back down, and you see that by where my predictor is going to go. But you'll see I'm starting to climb out of I'm on the top end of AGG. It's slowly trying to pull me back down, and I'm slowly trying to push my way out. So at that point, I can probably turn AGG off. Now the AGG's off. We're going down. That is not good. Oh, this is where I blow up the ship. Oh, this is not good. This is how I crash. Oh, I am too heavy. I did not break atmosphere. I may be crashing my ship today. Oh, no, it's going back up. So now here the issue is that the AGG is the AGG is too high, and I need to bring it back down. So I need to bring the AGG down to meet me, because I have to be able to get into the range of the AGG for it to grab me. If the AGG can't grab me, then and you see I'm basically bouncing. Hey Phil, how you doing today? Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the tribe, my friend. So I am currently trying to get out of Pretzel Rocks updated. Well, I didn't want to. I don't know why Pretzel Rocks isn't updating right now. I'm trying to get my HG to capture me and try to get back off the planet. And then I looked over and my Pretzel Rocks isn't working. So I don't know why it's not functioning. But one of the things that sorry, too many things going on at one time. So one of the things for Pretzel Rocks to work on is this thing and try to push it the other way now. So what's going to end up happening is I'm going to blow. I've blown through the HG going the wrong direction. Hopefully, as I come back down through HG, it will capture me. It looks like it tried to capture me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to slow back down. Let me get this Pretzel Rock kind of figured out. I don't know why my pretzel isn't working. But pretzel's actually very nice to us, and I don't want to. I liked it better when it was $4.99. So I may need to exit and read from my pretzel. Nope, they're reloading the app form. Like I said, the real issue with that is that when you with pretzel, if you I don't know why the bot's not updating to tell you what the pretzel song is, and I'm sorry, pretzel, if like I don't know what happened there. I'll have to look into that later because I usually run that and also the title, simply because it's nice. Like if you hear a song on pretzel that you do like, you can go and check out the artist and go buy the song from them and listen to it on a regular basis. And it's supporting the artist. So I like viewing my subscription and supporting, giving them exposure, as opposed to just, offering exposure. Like if you want to support an artist, then you give them, you give them, uh, you pay them for their time, and then you give them exposure. Yeah, you have to pay them what their time's worth, and then once that's done, then we can worry about trying to spread the word about them being a good artist. All right, so I need to get out of, and I'm not even fully loaded with this thing. It's we're just gonna basically float our way out. I'm saving up my money right now. Right now I have almost 20 million. Kenicho made a AGG ship. It's a flat deck AGG ship, so it's basically a flat deck, and then you can put. It's got a big cargo pod that sets in it. That I kind of like the idea of. So I'm probably going to be looking at picking up one of those. Like this ship is a good idea, but especially if it's overloaded. Like you make a mistake with this thing, it's. I thought I'd crashed it earlier. Like if it was any heavier, it would have been done. Turn around and point back to the planet. once I can get out of the planet's gravity, then I'll be able to. And that cursor means I'm flying backwards right now. I can't even just hit my brakes, come to a complete stop. AGGs are a crazy thing. Like I really do like the AGG. It's a neat idea. And you'll see it bounce a little bit because what's happening is that singularity is slowly going up, and as it gets above me, it pulls me, and then I'll start gaining speed, and then as I gain speed, that the singularity keeps going at the same speed. I'll pass it, and once I pass it, it starts pulling me back down. So you oscillate going up. So what have you been working on, Raytheon? I know Raytheon is. Do you stream this, or do you just support us crazy people streaming? Yeah, I don't think I've seen your name streaming, but it doesn't mean that your name there and your streaming name would be the same. It's, people have different names sometimes. It's funny how that works. I've actually got some requests for my bot to have some alterations to it. Back there. I've never tried to take an AG chip to a different planet. I don't know what's going to happen when if I have to transition the AGG all the way to the other planet, or if it just have to be careful. Because, yeah, so I'm outside of the gravity well now, so I should be okay. Get it up to speed. Make sure that this thing will actually drive itself out of the gravity well. I may have done it too early again. No. Yeah, the AGG still got me. Yeah, just too much for it. I've added too much weight to the ship. Uh, so I slowly keep building this out of the tank here. And pipes. One in here. What? Oh, I was trying to put that the fuel in my personal inventory. It's not going to work. I don't have enough room for that. fuel in. Back in the chair. All right. Eventually, I'll get out of that atmosphere. It'll be great. It will be glorious. That part is I have a data bank. I don't know why it doesn't. I think I need to reconfigure it, but probably need to pick my chair up and put it back down. I will eventually get off this planet. Why is it taking me back down? Because I got out and reset it to 1,000 meters. So the whole time I've been sitting back in the chair, it's been trying to take me back down. I want to go up. Nothing right now. Just fuel. But I've done bad things to the ship. I'm still learning. So I have I took all the large containers off of it. And I put extra large containers in it because I thought it would be fun. It's having trouble trying to break even with the containers in it. I've ruined the ship. I need to do some work to it to change it. I tried to do it at a lower altitude, and as soon as I pulled the H off, it just started falling out of the sky like a rocket. I'm just going to take it back to Haven, load it up full of my stuff, and bring the stuff off of Haven. Yeah, it got an AGG on it, but it's not wanting to break. It's not wanting to break atmosphere. Well, it's broke atmosphere, but like normally I can just have it push itself out of HG and it would be fine. But this one, the HG seems to be fighting it today. Oh, maybe I broke it. Maybe I got far enough up that it broke. Looks like it may have broke. So and then the next question is so then when I do get to Haven, like, yeah, I've broken 8. So the AGG was at like 8,000 meters. So when I get to Haven, it will still be at 8,000 meters, but I don't have to wait for the singularity to get to Haven, do I? What is it? Yeah, I've got too much weight on it. Oh, dude, this ship. I'm screwing around with it. The problem is yeah. But what I'm saying is I want it at like 8,000 meters because I want to catch the singularity at 8,000 meter and then lower myself back into the atmosphere. Because if I try to lower myself with my engines into the atmosphere, I'm gonna crash. Especially when I go to leave the planet, because I plan on grabbing everything from Haven, or most everything from Haven. But yeah, so we're only for now. So the trick is, and that's fine, Raytheal. Like, not everybody has to stream. Everybody supports their own way. Yeah, you want to have a decent setup, especially playing this game and trying to stream it. I think I had. So I'm a tech support guy by trade. I do desk site service support. I basically fix people's computers for them. I build computers. I troubleshoot, do hardware, and I belong to a group when I lived in Salt Lake City that I basically helped people get streaming and get their setup set up and stuff like that. And we had one of the our members. They were having their trouble getting their stream started, and it wasn't working, and they couldn't figure it out. And like at first they're like, "Oh yeah, I'm on a laptop." Like, okay, well, a laptop's not too bad. Like, you can do it. You're not going to get the best numbers out of it. But they weren't on a laptop. They were on a Surface. So they were trying to play and stream from a Surface. It's like that's information we could have started this conversation with, because that's not gonna work. I could have brought my warp core or warp cells with me, but this thing's so heavy, I couldn't afford the warp cells. Yeah, so it's important to have enough headway in your computer that you can play the game that you want to play, can stream it, you can run all the screens. And there's nothing wrong with a Surface. There's nothing wrong with it. Like, if that's what you need to do what you need to do and it fills that, okay, that's cool. Like, I get it. But And if that's all you have and you're trying to stream, that's fine. But you're never gonna get like, and they were trying to do something. They were like trying to do 1080p 60 stream on a Surface and play the game on it, and like it's just like you're gonna end up burning that damn thing up. And that's basically what was happening. Is they were overheating it, thermal throttling the processor, and then it would get worse. And then they start trying to trying to figure out what's wrong with it, so they would start loading more programs, overload it more, and it was just this horrible death spiral. Like I have enough headroom in my computer that like this thing's it's 8 cores, 16 hyperthreads, running at 4.4 gig, 64 gigs of RAM. It's got a 2080 Ti video card in it. It's got a K2200 Quadro card in it. The Quadro card actually runs my other monitors. It's basically like an iPad. It's Microsoft's version of the iPad. So it's an iPad that runs Windows, or a stripped down version of Windows. You can once. Well, that's not true. You can walk on it more than once, but the first time you walk on it, it's probably not going to work anymore. Not as a computer anyway. Yeah, it's basically an iPad. And they're very expensive. You know, $800 to $1,000 for an iPad. But it's an iPad that runs Windows. So depending on who you talk to, it's better or worse. So and like I said, I'm not here to. Oh my God! How could you have an iPad? Like, whatever, dude. If it works for you, it works for you. Like I'm the same thing. I'm not upset that people play on console. Like, I get it, man. I played on console for a very long time. And if I continue to play on console, and like all my friends were on console, and the game I wanted to play was on console, sure, I would still be on console. But the games I want to play aren't on console. The people that I hung out and played with while I was on console, kind of fallen out of touch with. So I don't play on consoles anymore. Let me get this thing slowed down so I can actually get pointed in the right direction here. But they have their purpose, right? Like I'll tell people, like they're like, "Oh, I'm thinking about getting a computer." I'm like, "Okay, well, what game do you plan on playing on a computer?" Well, I don't know. I think I want to get a computer. I'm like, "Do you have any of your friends that have computers that you want to go play games with?" Well, no, they're all on a PlayStation, or they're all on. You're still not a lapdog. You're not a lapdog. I love you. Would you please? I know, lay down. I'm like, well, if all your friends are on Xbox or all your friends are on PlayStation, like if your friends are on Xbox and you're playing games that are, that you can play on the PC, and then you can still play on the Xbox and you can be on your PC, that's one thing. But if you're trying to play a very, something that doesn't have crossplay on it, and they're all on Xboxes and you're on PC, you're not going to have a good time. I'm PC master race. Like I truly believe that a console's never going to outperform a PC. There's certain very limited cases where they do as well, or get comparable gameplay out of it. But the PC is going to do so much more things better. But at the same time, I have a lot more overhead. I have Windows. I have all my programs in the background. I have all the stuff and drivers, and it's definitely a more difficult thing to deal with. But if all your friends are on console, go buy a console, man. Go have fun, have a good time. If all your friends are on PC, then buy a PC. Like, that's, it depends. Like, if you have a community of people that you're going to join, that, and you're join that community, like, do what you got to do. The whole point of this is to have fun and have a good time and to enjoy yourself and escape reality for a little while and stuff like that. So I don't have a problem with a console or PC or whatever works for you for what you want to do for your enjoyment and your downtime. But put some thought into it, man. So, but yeah, but like trying to do stuff on like that, or trying to have a Chromebook and be like, oh, I don't know why this thing can't run Cyberpunk. But even now, like, you have GeForce Now, and you have all kinds of stuff where you can go play on a Surface. Like, you can go GeForce Now, log into your Surface, log into GeForce Now, and go play to your heart's content. Now, granted, you're playing on somebody else's computer in the cloud, but like, you're using the Surface to get there, so set up correctly, you can do some damage. Blow my engines down a little bit. This should be a slow process, because if not, I'm going to burn all my damn fuel out. But yeah, but like, obviously with this game, I don't really have I don't have a choice. I'm playing this game on a PC. Like, that's just the way this game is going to be. No way around it. And then more importantly, you need to have a PC. Oh, dude, I played Eve. I played all kinds of stuff. I'm having fun with it. So I backed the game, and in full disclosure, I backed the game in 2016 on Kickstarter. I'm a Ruby founder. I have the digital Ruby pack. Like, I saw this game originally and I looked at it. I was like, this is going to be the best game ever. If they do what they want to do, I am going to be happy as crap. I am happy with the game. So there's a few things. Obviously, it's still got some optimizations issues. It's still in beta. They're still working on it. It's still got some problems. However, the developers have come out and they've said the same thing they've been saying the whole time. We're not going to wipe unless we have to. It's looking more and more like they may have to do a wipe of the server. And if they do a wipe of the server, that them saying that they may have to do a wipe of the server has caused the servers to basically empty right now. So I'm using this time to kind of learn the game, because back when it first came out in alpha, I played a little bit on and off. I did a little bit, like, I popped in, kind of looked at the game, and I was like, But right now, it plays a lot like Space Engineers, or like Satisfactory, or a lot of stuff like that. So I'm a factory building channel. We play Satisfactory, we play Factorio, Fortress Craft Evolved, Minecraft with factory. It's not an impending wipe. It's not impending. It's a, hey, there's some problems on the server, and a wipe would fix them, but we're looking into options to not do a wipe and seeing if we can fix the server without it. And that's kind of the way I read it. I think, my personal opinion, I believe NQ believes they have to do a wipe, and I think they're looking for ways to not do a wipe. I believe that's what's happening. Is they're looking for a way out without having to do a wipe. They have come out and flat said that if they do a wipe, that your core blueprints will remain. Like minimum, at minimum, your core blueprints will remain. So if you come in and you build stuff, and at least your core blueprints will remain. So it'll give you at least a little bit of a heads up. But as for how I'm approaching this game, I approach this game as space engineers. That actually works. And I've got a lot of flack because I'm very adamant that the Space Engineer server software sucks, and that's putting it nicely. So this is I have it's an i7 5960X, 8-core, 16 hyper-thread, overclocked to 4.4 gigahertz, 64 gigs of RAM with a 2080 Ti video card in it. That's this computer. Sitting directly behind it is a HP Z440 workstation that's got a 2.4 gig Xeon processor in it. That's 8-core, 16 hyper-thread, 64 gigs of RAM with a 1650 video card in, running on an NVMe drive. And this has an NVMe drive in it also. So it's a decent server, and it was built to be a server. It was built for my community, so that we had a server that runs Minecraft, Factorio. It runs 5PD. I've run pretty much any game I can think of on that, and most of them do okay. Like if we start hitting it with like I run out of bandwidth for my internet before I run out of bandwidth on my computer. Space Engineers, that game just is sucky optimized. So on my main computer, it will use like 8 or 12 cores or something when I'm playing my game. On the server software, it uses 3 cores. And they're like, well, you need to have a 5 gigahertz machine for your... Who the hell has a server with a 5 gigahertz processor in it? Like, it doesn't work. The way I'm approaching this... Now, that being said, there's some lag issues, there's some desync issues, there's some issues in the game, but with Space Engineers, like, it would just crash the server. Like, if I loaded some of the stuff I have in this game on Space Engineers, it would just crash the server. Like, the factory I'm building, so I built a factory back at my base that has, I'm basically building all the data components in. And I'm not saying that factory would kill Space Engineers, but I've been playing this game for a month. I'm not even showing really signs of lag at my base. I'm starting to see it a little bit, but I have a lot of stuff that I built at that base that we're adding to it. But I've gone to some really large factories, and mine is tiny compared to some of the stuff that actually run and function in this game. So there's stuff that I've seen this game that people have loaded on computers that are a lot less than mine, and have ran and worked, and yeah, it's a little laggy. Especially when you start getting lots of elements, it can get laggy. But it works. It's still, they can load, they can walk around in it. Like if it was Space Engineers, it would crash immediately, and like the server would be run, we'd never be able to play again. Yeah, I enjoyed the game a lot. The PvP in this game is a lot different than Eve. So the safe zone in this game is actually a safe zone. People can't blow you up, so that part of it I'm really happy about. Planetary PvP hasn't been put into the game. They're looking at it. They want to do it. I'm torn about that because, especially as a streamer, and somebody that advertises where my base is, I don't want to log in and have my base destroyed. So I'm all for not having PvP where people can destroy my base, because I have 2 weeks worth of work put into my factory that I have, And if I logged in one day and it was gone, not sure I would come back. So I'm perfectly happy with not having the PvP. The PvP that's in this game, whereas if I transition out and I'm going through PvP space and I'm slow booting like this, which is a bad plan. But if you want to go get in a fight, that's a great way to get into one. Like honestly, like if anything, that's what I would probably be doing. Is at some point I would build some massive large core ship that's got so many goddamn guns on it that I would just fly through, name it something like freaking, some sort of, freighter, I name it like the Evergreen or something. So people see it and go, oh, it's a cargo ship. And then they pop out and it's just a freaking massive war vessel. They just pop into existence or pop out and try to, oh, look at me, I'm a pirate. Oh, you're a kaboom. But the PvP fighting and stuff like that, I've heard people that not really big fans of it. They just got the radars fixed. I think the PvP people are happier with the radars being fixed. But in this game, I could choose when I want to PvP and when I don't. If I want to PvP, I go into the PvP area. If I don't want to PvP, I stay my ass in the freaking Care Bear area and I freaking hide behind the freaking safety wall, and I can be safe. I don't have to worry about some random jerkwad showing up, suiciding a ship on mine, blowing me up, and then his friend coming and picking up all of our stuff and then taking off. I don't know if you can tell or not. I'm not a fan of EVE's PvP system. So, but to answer your question, I'm happy with the game. Where the game is now, like, yeah, it needs some optimizations. It needs some, some stuff. I'm happy with my initial investment with, like, what the game basically offers right now. The offers that it has, and a few optimizations, and I would be happy with this. Honestly, I'm happy with it now. The only difference is I have a monster computer that runs it fairly well. It needs some optimization so people that don't have monster computers can still come play the game. But there's a lot of voxels. There's a lot of stuff. And if you guys, I haven't shown y'all in a while, but if y'all do go in here, go to your graphics. If you're playing this game and you're having trouble, take this number of threads thing. My laptop, I run it too. Drop that thing down. Drop the. I think I run the voxel quality down at like 1.2, 1.1, and then I got all this crap turned off on my laptop. And my laptop's a 7700 HQ. It's now got 32 gigs of RAM in it, and a 1060, and that still functions. So, and sometimes that's all you have, just being able to function. Good speeds. Gonna get this thing to speed up some. The four engines weren't really enough to keep it moving. It's gonna take forever for me to stop this thing. Right now, it's saying it's gonna take me a minute to stop. But yeah, so like I said, I'm very very critical of Space Engineer servers. I was very critical of this game when they initially announced it because I was like, you guys are smoking crack. There's no way in hell you're going to do that. I'm like, that is, like, Space Engineers is garbage. Like, if you guys figure out a way to allow me to play Space Engineers on a single charted server where all my friends are on playing with me at the same time, you guys are smoking crack. I'm like, but I'll bet you $400 you can't do it. Which is not a very good bet, because if they don't do it, then I lose $400. If they, well, I guess that is it's a bet, but it's just the wrong bet. I'm betting on them, I guess. Because either way, they get the $400 whether they succeed or not. But so far, like I said, they're succeeding. Like it's against all odds. Like, and don't get me wrong. Like I said, there's some lag. There's some disconnection. There's some, there's some iffy stuff going on. But they're working on it. But yeah, and then so if you guys do not have the game, if you are looking to get the game, or actually if you do already have the game, so those are two things. If you don't have the game, the first link is for you. I've said it before, I will say it again. Okay, that is my refer a friend link. You do not have to use my refer a friend link. You have another friend playing the game, you have another streamer that's playing the game, you have somebody else that plays and you want to use their refer a friend link, I'm fine with it. I'm not going to be bothered by it. Okay. It is more important for me that you use somebody's refer a friend link. It's more important that you use someone's than it is that you use mine. Like, I'm okay. My stuff will eventually figure it out. I'll get my stuff for my purple force field eventually. That's gonna happen. Okay. I have enough stuff there that, it is what it is. Okay. That being said, for you, however, you get 1,000,000 talent points. So to give you an idea, I have. Let's go F2. I have 6.2 million talent points that I have basically in my setup right now. It will greatly help you. You start out with 1,000,000 talent points by using your refer a friend. I get skins for landing gear and ailerons and doors and force fields. At the 12-month, 24-month, 36-month, I get a free month of the game. I have a lifetime subscription. I could give a crap about a free month of the game. But that 1,000,000 points that you get to start, that's a full week of talent training that you basically get. Please use somebody refer a friend. If you have an account already, you haven't paid for game time, find somebody's refer a friend, get the free points. Once you get into the game, sign up for the 2-factor authentication, get another 1,000,000 points. Very important. And you get like 500,000 credits in game. Like, seriously, sign up for it. And then not only that, but then you have 2-factor authentication on your account. Both really good reasons to do it. And then the second link there is my basically it's my creator code. If you click on the creator code and you go and you do everything and you go sign out and you're like, hey, I want to buy game time, right? That will give me a 5% kickback of whatever your purchase is. Give me a 5% kickback of that, so that I can then take that money and I'm gonna buy stacks with it, and we'll give them to the community. If I have too much money on there and I can't buy enough DAX to give away, then we'll donate the money to Extra Life. Like, it is what it is. It supports the channel. The money, the donations, all that stuff. If you donate money to me, it's going to Extra Life. You can cut the middleman out, give it straight to Extra Life, and that saves me the trouble. But unless I break something on my computer or something, the money I get from the stream, we're sending to Extra Life to try to help with Joker's hospital. For the most part, I do okay. I have a day job. I do okay. My time slot kind of sucks because I stream at a really weird time. But it is what it is. Some stuff may be changing soon to change some of that. We'll just have to simper Gumby and see how that works out. and just kind of see how it works. But for the most part, like I said, we're here for Extra Life. We're trying to raise money for that. You'll notice that, I'm very selective on my partnerships. You notice I have a Humble Partner there. I do have the Dual Universe affiliate link there too. I do really feel this game is amazing. It's basically a sandbox. I can go do whatever the hell I want to. I can build a factory. I can go travel to different planets. I can play with my friends. You guys can come in and if you guys are playing and you need boxes, like if you need containers, I'm not making like awesome containers, but if you need like just basic containers, I'm making basic containers, all the way from extra small to expanded extra large. But it's just the base. I'm not any of the optimized or advanced optimized or any of that garbage. Because I've only been playing like a month. And then we're making uncommon military and uncommon maneuvering engines, from extra small to large, for atmosphere. I'll probably start trying to make the space engines soon, just so that we have an amount of engines. And then I'm making all of the data components. Okay, so we're making all the operators for the OR, the XOR, the NOR, NAND, all of those. We're making the operators. We're making the emitters. We're making the receivers. We're making the infrared lasers, emitters, and the laser emitter and receivers. We're making the programming boards, the data banks. I'm making all that stuff, and I have slowly working on it up to. I'm gonna try to keep about 2,000 of them in stock. So if you're a builder and you need that stuff, come talk to me. We'll work some stuff out. It's the factory's built, it's churning away. The stuff is there. We're working slowly on getting some of the stuff set up that we need to kind of get that stuff kind of figured out. But yeah, so that's kind of where we are. But yeah, so the big plan is to be a builder. We do have the Plum Yeti Gaming organization, trying to figure out what we want to do with that. It's always nice to have your own organization and to have your own something that you control to kind of to maintain. I've had really bad experiences with guild stuff in the past where it's not gone well. Because I don't know. I just like having a control in the stuff that affects the stream. Call me weird. But if you guys are interested in that, that's my money. Organizations F3. It was F3. All right. So, and you can join up to 5 at a time. Looks like yeah. So we have a few people. So and you see like me, Pete, Purple Sasquatch is my alt. Tech Golem as Pete alt. So that way we have the ability to kind of do stuff. And then not a lot of people in the org here, but if nothing else, and I'm horrible about answering in game. So honestly, if you want to get a hold of me, you're better off sending me a message on Discord. So I'm horrible in game. doing back there? Start slowing this thing down. Start slowing it down and see if I can actually get the AGG to catch me. The problem is the AGG is going to catch me at like 10,000 feet. And I'm basically pointing right at the South Pole right now. Well, the AGG, if I leave it at like 10,000 feet and I jump out, will the AGG keep bringing me down if I'm not on the ship, or does it freeze in a position where it is? Or is it just going to fall out of the sky? So there's no what to do. I don't know. AGG's magic, man. I dare you to try. Oh, dude, if I crash this thing on the planet, dude, I would have to disassemble it to get it off the planet. That's not true. I could, I'll just have to empty the cargo bays out. If I empty the cargo bays out, I can fly it off the planet. Do it. It's not. I gotta be repairing this thing, especially here, because I don't have the repair stuff. We would be here for. I would be here for a day trying to get it cleared. You guys are. Don't get me wrong. I'll do some messed up stuff for a Klondike bar. But I'll do some really messed up stuff for Extra Life donations. Speaking of which, we are looking at Extra Life, trying to figure out the best way to do that. I'm trying to figure out. I think I'm gonna talk to some of the other streamers, some of the other shipbuilders. So Extra Life is the gaming branch of Children's Miracle Network. Children's Miracle Network is a charity that was started in the 70s by Donnie and Marie Osmond. And it basically is a charity that supports primary children's hospitals around the United States and Canada. So Extra Life is it basically sprang out of that, out of Children's Miracle Network. There was a need with a child that was in a hospital, and she had cancer, and a gentleman walked in to talk to her one time, and she had cancer, went through chemo. They thought she was clear. She relapsed, had cancer again, went to chemo again, got cancer. It just repeated and repeated, and she eventually ultimately passed. But one of the things that, the girl was just having a horrible time of life, trying to fight cancer and everything like that. And one of the people that worked at the hospital walked in, and they were working on the family. He's like, "Look, is there anything I can do for you? Is there anything that you want?" Basically like almost like a Make-A-Wish type question. And she's like, I just want to play games with my brother. I just want to. I miss playing games with my brother. I just want to play games with my brother. And she just wanted to play a video game with her brother. So he went out and belonged to a couple of message boards, and he's like, "Hey, got this girl in the hospital. He just wants to play games with his brother. Does anybody have a spare console or some games or something, anything that I can take to her, so that she can just play games with her brother?" And the response, and it was so overwhelming by people donating on old consoles and games and stuff, that not only did they get stuff for her, but they ended up giving a bunch of stuff to a bunch of people in the hospital. And Just and they were so inspired by the outpouring that they created Extra Life. So Extra Life is the gaming branch. So we raise literally millions of dollars every year for primary children's hospitals around the United States and Canada to help sick children, to be kids again, to give them an extra life, to be able to give them a chance at being able to get out and be a kid again. So my personal experience with Children's Hospital, when I was 9 years old, I cut my foot in half. I had a massive injury to my foot. I have a scar that runs up the inside of my foot. They spent 12 hours and stopped counting at 200 stitches on the inside of my foot. I had 14 stitches on the outside of my foot. The doctors flat told me I would never run again at 9 years old. They told my mom they were afraid I would never walk again. And that team of professionals put my foot back together. I've led a full, healthy life. I'm almost 50 years old now. The only reason I don't run is because I don't like it. I don't want to run. If you see me running, you better keep up. There's some bad shit behind me. So I've taken upon myself to try to help and raise money for Extra Life. So the donations that I have, the donations that I request are for the hospital. If you do the Extra Life links, so the links there, the first Extra Life link there is my participant page. It actually goes towards donations straight to my page. The second one, if you want to learn more about Extra Life, and just, please, if you're ever going to put money into a charity, check the charity out. Like, go do some research, make sure the charity works for you. Like, if you wanted to give me help with my charity, because I think it's a good plan, and that's great. Like, I appreciate it, but you should check charities out. Make sure it's not just some sham that somebody's trying to just, trying to be like, oh no, this is a charity. Because there's some bad charities out there that the money doesn't actually go where they say it's going to go, and there's some bad stuff out there. But you can go check the charity out if you're a streamer, and you don't even have to stream. Like, you could just get a bunch of friends together and have a board game session, and do the same thing with Extra Life and raise money for your local hospital. I have chosen Texas Children's Hospital because that's the one I live next to. That's the one that's helped me. That's the one that's helped my family the most. So I choose to give money back to Texas Children's Hospital. But if you live someplace else and you want to support a different hospital, I encourage you to do so. If you want to give money to the hospital, but you prefer to give it to your local hospital, send me a message. I will help you figure out the way to get the money to the hospital. I'm more worried about getting monies to the hospital than I am worried about getting it to Texas Children's Hospital, because there's children all over the place that need help. And if you want to help them, I will do what I can to help. Whether I get credit for it or not is irrelevant. Oh, this thing. Let's hit some brakes here. Yeah, so basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get this thing to come down, and think of the AGG like a cloud, right? It's just kind of this singularity thing that kind of floats in space, and I'm trying to softly land on this cloud. If I hit it with any decent speed, I'll blow right through it, and I'm screwed. And depending on how heavy your ship is, if you blow through it, you won't recover, and I'm going to bounce off the planet. So what I'm trying to do is, you'll see my altitude on the left over there is at 23,000 meters. The AGG is set at 10,500 meters. and it's the AGG's coming up slowly, coming up to that height. I'm trying to slowly come down to that height and meet it. And if I can get like where it's at, and I can come down and kind of meet it, and it'll catch me. And then as I bring it down, it'll bring my ship down, and then we'll go down to 1,000 meters. AGGs only work to a maximum of, or a minimum of 1,000 meters. So you just have to kind of do what you can with that. So you'll see here in a little bit, hopefully the AGG, once I get close, within about 400 meters, it will kind of catch you and be like, oh, hey, and you'll see it'll change color, and we'll start to get, we'll stop falling out of the sky like a brick. Because at least it's got enough brakes on it that I can kind of slow it down. I'm gonna probably need to put a lot more brakes in this thing. I keep this thing down, and the AGG will only change at about 4 meters per second, as opposed to me falling out of the sky at like several hundred meters per second. And you'll see in a little bit, once I get down to the height where the AGG will catch me, like I'll be able to take my brakes off, and I'll basically stay at that height. All right, so you see it changed yellow, means I'm in the band. So I'm in the AGG band of where it will try to capture me. So basically I've got my brakes on right now. I should be able to take my brakes off. And I'm a little bit above the band, so it will. All right, stop it again. So the trick is to try to use your brakes to get it to where you need to be. And you'll see that like now my brakes are off, I'm actually starting to climb now. I'm not any more speed. I don't have any lift right now, but I'm actually starting to climb. So, and it's going to try to get me to that 1,545 meters height. And once it kind of gets me there, we're like, oh, okay, yeah, we're good. So now what I do is I'll do this. I'll hold down Alt. I'll hold C. And then I'm going to take this thing all the way down to 1,000 meters like this. So what it's going to do now is that the AGG, so my ship is here, and the singularity is going to start slowly drifting down. And when it drifts down, it will slowly pull my ship with it. And you'll see the ship will kind of bounce. It will kind of oscillate. And you have to monitor that oscillation, because if you oscillate outside of that window of about 200 to 400 meters, if you oscillate outside that window, you'll break AGG, and as soon as you do, you're done. You'll see that like my gravity up there is like 0.26, so that's how much gravity is actually affecting me outside of the singularity. If I'm dead set in the center of the singularity, it'll be zero gravity. You'll basically be weightless. But as you get away from that center of the singularity, gravity starts affecting you more and more and more. So, and some of that is to do with speed. So if I actually slow this thing down, and as my speed comes back, because what's happened is the singularity's here, and I'm basically dragging it along. And as I'm trying to get away from, or as I slow down, the singularities can keep up with me. And you can just, if you get up and you just full throttle, you'll outrun the AGG, break it, and then you'll fall. There's lots of rules with AGG usage, but if you figure it out and you can use them, like you can lift some ridiculous cargo. Like right now, like I have 2.88 kilotons on this ship. That's how much the ship weighs with the limited cargo I have in it. I've had 45 kilotons on this ship, and it flew around Aelia. Like if I ever drop below 1,000 meters, though, I'm done. I would just cover it up and just move on. Let's go find another ship. And then going back to Extra Life, November 5th this year is Extra Life's International Day of Play. Do me a favor, guys. Mark your calendar. Come hang out. All right. I'll be streaming from 8 a.m. Central Standard Time to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time on November 5th and again on November 6th. We'll have 2 days of 12-hour streams. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to do yet, but I'll tell you right now, I'm going to give some shift away. I'm going to give some DAC away. I'm going to give some games away. We're going to raise some money for Texas Children's. The goal is to get at least $1,000 raised for Texas Children's this year. Ultimately, I would love to raise about $4,000 this year for Texas Children's. As soon as I hit the $10,000 mark of money raised for Texas Children's, I'm probably going to go have a tattoo put on me somewhere. And I don't have any tattoo. It'll be the first tattoo. It'll be the first tattoo I've ever deemed worthy of having on my body, because the Extra Life means that much to me. And the only reason I haven't done it yet is because, look, I don't like needles. I really don't like needles. And I don't want to turn into a big baby with somebody poking me with needles. It's going to be a very specific tattoo, though. But yeah, so whether that happens this year or next year, it will happen. I just, trying to figure out some way, because in the past, we've had ways for you guys to donate money that kind of messes with the stream. And unfortunately, I can't really do that this year. I've been trying to figure out a way to do it. Like we don't have loot boxes. We don't have, I don't have any way to really do any of that stuff. Like I could go buy some things and like make loot boxes, but then like I would know what was in them. So trying to make it random would be difficult. So I'm not sure. There's ideas and stuff, but like I don't want to get into loot boxes because that's such a scummy freaking thing. Like, what am I gonna put a loot box in a package or not a warp beacon, and then be like, oh, there's a warp beacon in one of these, but there's 1,000 of them. So, I think, like I said, my original goal, my original thought process is to probably get a hold of a couple of the streamers that do, and not to call anybody's names out, but because I haven't contacted anybody, but to maybe try to get a hold of Loaded, or try to get a hold of Drax or Serapis or Kinixo, or some people that make some really cool ships in game, and have something. Or I may try to commission a ship. I may talk to a couple people and find out if I can have a ship commissioned, or maybe you have several ships commissioned, and then have which may be a good plan. I may see if I can either have a couple of ships commissioned or something that we can have people that have donated money to Extra Life. Basically, that's how you get the blueprint. Um, and then I don't like releasing stuff like that out to the wild a lot of times because like the same thing when we play Forza, right? I have a bunch of uh, liveries and ships in Forza that are Extra Life themed liveries that I'm really happy and proud with, but I don't release a lot of them into the wild because I don't want them showing up the auction house. But either that or I'll have to just look into start building building ships myself. Because I think if we could build some really clean ship, because I know I know Serapis, I think Drax does it also, where with channel points you can redeem channel points to get basically ships that they're. I know with Serapis, the only way to get those ships is with channel points. All right, so we're slowly dropping into atmosphere here. But yeah, so that is what Extra Life is. That is why it's important to me. That's kind of what we do. Um, and if anybody ever has questions about Extra Life, if you want to ask me about something, if you need information about something, like, please feel free. If I don't know the answer for it, I will go figure it out. I will start contacting people at Extra Life, and I've been doing Extra Life for a very long time. Matter of fact, I was part of the guild in Salt Lake City when they existed, and I've met at the time I met most of the senior leadership at Extra Life because their headquarters was at is in Salt Lake City. So like I've been to headquarters. I've talked to people there several times. I ran the gaming convention anytime they had an Extra Life booth in Salt Lake. I ran it for them. So I did a lot of work to try to keep that up there. So that's been a while ago, but I'm sure if I send an email asking some questions, I could probably get some answers. Oh, it's a little boat in. We'll eventually make it. I thought it would be fun to make my original base over the South Pole before I knew how to play the game. Wasn't a good plan. Kind of isolated out there, though. Not a lot of people hanging out on the South Pole. Actually, other than the people that have come into the game to hang out with us. I do appreciate everybody to come and hang out with us this morning. You guys are awesome. Do appreciate it. Kind of taking it easy. Having a slow meander back to Haven. We'll get back to Haven here in a minute. I'm gonna go down. I'm gonna just basically clear out stuff off the base there. I'll probably leave my the miners there. I don't know. I might leave the miners in my base there, but I definitely want to take out any other ships I have there. I think I have a protofly there still, and then a couple other little things. So. All right. What are you doing, Cooper? Kilometers out. Going way back already. Yeah, entering the atmosphere at over 1,000 kilometers, usually a bad plan. There's usually fire and sparks. Getting over. Stop. That is our area right over there. So I'm literally just going to drive over my hex and just slowly dip down. And then when I get to work, I'll do the exact opposite. Once I get to work, I'll get back. I'll get everything loaded. We might be able to probably get everything loaded here in a second. But we'll get everything loaded, and then we'll just take the AGG and push it back into space, and then once we kind of get all the stuff into space, we'll slow boat back to Alioth, repeat the process, and unload the ship. So once I get down into the atmosphere, we'll be able to get the other ship to fly off. We'll be able to go down. The problem with the AGG is getting off the ship and being able to get back onto the ship. That's why if you drive around, you'll see these massive elevators that go up to 1,000 meters or so, because people have built those to basically fly their AGGs over, park their AGGs on top of them, and that way they can get back in and out of their ship without having to figure out how to get back up to their ship. I really want a large core AGG ship, just to do things like this. The problem is the larger the ship is, the heavier it is, the more warp cells it takes to get from point A to point B. And I've already run into issues where warp cells are expensive. I could have warped over here. I'm afraid to find out. Like, actually, let's see this thing out. So Alien. So if I just tell it I want to warp to set as warp point, it would take me 9 warp cells in the current configuration for me to warp from Aliens to the moon. And that's not that bad. Like, it takes me 5 warp cells to go from Alias to Phase and my warp shuttle, or Alias to Mattis, my warp shuttle. Even fully loaded, I think it took me like 18 something. And that was pretty much as that ship could carry. It had so much in it that it almost could get out of the atmosphere of Alien. Breaks that's my brake is engaged, so I'm lagging behind the singularity. So what I'm doing is I'm basically pulling my brake off. I'm letting it go down, let the brake catch it until I get close to where the singularity is. Once I get closer to where the singularity is, and the singularity actually starts trying to raise me, because the problem is if I overshoot the singularity by too much, then I'm in real trouble. So you see now that the singularity is trying to pull me, or it's trying to, actually no, it's just stop there. Past the head. Now we're getting close. Now we're past the singularity. Should be trying to flip me. Yeah, there you go. Now it's lifted. So now that we're back into where the singularity is, and it's trying to catch me. We'll be better at trying to. It'll still oscillate a bit, but it'll it's a little bit safer. Letting the singularity bring me down, because the problem is when my brakes engage, the singularity would slowly pull out from under me. My brakes would be engaged. I get more and more gravity. Eventually, either I break the singularity and then I have to have the brakes bring me all the way down, and hope that when I come to 1,000 meters, they actually catch me, or it would just my brakes wouldn't hold me. I would blow through the singularity, and then I need to get out the repair tool. But you can see that oscillation. We should be in the atmosphere soon, TM. And then just so everybody knows, I mentioned this again. So what I've started doing here recently is picking the VODs. Once we started streaming to you, I made a character. I made my alt. I've kind of taken that stuff to those videos to YouTube. They're uploaded in a long format, 3-ish hours a piece, whatever the stream is. And then basically just dumped onto YouTube. So if you're watching this on YouTube after the fact, thank you for coming to hang out with me. I do appreciate it. If you want to catch us live, we're on Twitch at Plum Yeti. And we do this Tuesday through Saturday normally, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. I know, really weird time. That's why I've uploaded the videos to YouTube. You guys are more than welcome to come and join us and interact live. Or if you watch them on YouTube, it is what it is. So I'm just seeing if that will help the channel grow some. See if I can get the word out about us and have people come join us. It's all about growing your community. It's about finding like-minded people that play like-minded games, and us having a good time and generally having a good time. Just that's really it. Like, not anything massive. Like, if we can get money and, if at some point I retire and I'm like, oh crap, I could just do Twitch full time, and then with my retirement in Twitch, I could, make a good living. That's one thing. I'm not planning on quitting my day job anytime soon to be full time Twitch, because it's just too. Twitch and YouTube and everything is just so it's volatile, very volatile. I've worked in the semiconductor industry before, and that was volatile enough for me. But yeah, I do this for fun, and I'll continue to do it for fun. And by doing that, it's fine. But I think if today's dinner depended on me getting money on Twitch, I'm not sure I'd be happy about trying to do that. That's for me. I don't know if I could do that. So, like I said, the donations, stuff like that. I appreciate the subs. Like, all that stuff is great. I use that money usually to buy a new mic or buy a new lights or a camera or something like that for the channel. All the money from the channel, but basically it's put right back into the channel. Or I just give it to Extra Life. So, and then I'm looking at some stuff to see if we can figure out some new emotes. If you guys have ideas for emotes or something you think would be cool, please let me know. I'll be always looking for emotes and ideas and stuff like that. And more importantly, people to make emotes, because I don't do art anymore. I used to when I was younger. I kind of fell out of it. I don't know. I've never started it again. So this is great fun. It's like watching paint dry. So this is both the blessing and the curse of the AGG ship. So, like I said, especially if you're trying to get heavy, or a really heavy thing that you should be able to lift, AGG is great. But it has its drawbacks, right? So you know the old engineering adage: you can have something good, you can have it fast, or you can have it cheap, right? Well, the AGG is not cheap. It is definitely good, but it is not fast. It is expensive and it is slow. Much I know with like therapists, he likes putting rockets on the bottom of his and boosting, just launching into space. And that's probably something I should look at in the future, especially for something like this, because I'm pretty sure if I just went and stacked brakes, I could stack air brakes inside of this thing, put a bunch of rocket boosters on the bottom of it, and I could probably get it to where I could rocket boost, just basically launch straight into orbit, even loaded, and then use the brakes to basically come in and just catch it to land it. So it may be something I look at doing in the future, where I try to get enough brakes on the bottom of this thing, so even if it's loaded, I can still launch it off the surface and get enough brakes on it so that I can actually stop it, or slow it down enough to get it to have a safe landing. So now if I do, so now we're actually in the atmosphere. We're at 10% atmosphere. We're still slowly descending. And then if you look, there's, I think that's somebody's base over there, directly below us. I don't know if I can see. The ship is blocking it. Because like directly below us should be our base, Pete's base. Yeah, so there's the engines coming on. So Pete's base and Nerdy's base should be directly below us. Hopefully we'll get Nerdy in here, have Nerdy be able to build us cool stuff. Nerdy builds amazing things. That's interesting information. Yeah, my worry is if I jump out of my ship right now, the brakes are going to come on, and I'm afraid that I'll outpace my singularity, and then the ship will hit me in the head. Like once it gets down to the 1,000 meters, like if I left it, I could bring the singularity up to here and have it stop, but then I got more travel time. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Take these things out. I put them in because that way if Pete decides to join us, then we're not hearing a massive echo. But Pete's not feeling well. And as much as I'd love Pete coming to hang out with us, I'm a lot more interested in Pete getting to feel better. Because being sick sucks. Actually, I can test this. I think it does okay. It still slowly goes down. It's so weird watching pop around when you're not in control. It's feeling. Then you get a hatcher up here. That would have been bad. All right, well, screw it. Let's go down and see what we can do. Just drive off the ship. I'll be fine. I'll be fine. Like, let's see what happens. We're doing this ship for science anyway. Oh no, it's not. That landing that big ship down here would be nothing good would happen. So the question is, how far away is my link ping? Thought it told me somewhere here. Here. Okay, so yeah, so I'm actually 1.5. So my link container is still way the hell up there. So literally, I'm just taking all the stuff and just teleporting it to the ship right now. And this is honestly one of the things I do really enjoy about this game is being able to link a container, move stuff back and forth, or be able to use it, be able to move things around, as opposed to like No Man's Sky where you're screwed, can't really do anything. And then like even these things, they're literally just being dumped into that container up there. So that this this this. So now that's picked up, so I don't have to worry about that one anymore. I could probably try to take a photo fly and see if I can get it up there. The real question is whether I try to take this stuff out or if I just let it keep running here. Because yeah, my calibration is 0%. And I'm not getting a large amount of stuff from here. Better than nothing, I guess, though. Better than a smoke kick in the pants. And it is free. It's free money at this point, so I just have to come set it up every once in a while and actually calibrate it. That wasn't helpful. This is garbage. A garbage one. Of course. Why wouldn't it be over there? Yeah, so my calibration is 35%. So this thing's going to be garbage outputting things for a while. Probably should just pick it up. Start over. Yeah, I originally, this is the pilot starter area, our pilot starter base. So when you start, I went with a pilot. I think Pete went with a comfortable house. Nerdy went with a dojo. Will went with, can't remember the name of his. But yeah, so in the grand scheme of things, like the game could use some help. Um, it's it's not perfect, but honestly, what game is perfect? Like, um, and in the grand scheme of things, compared to Though Elite Dangerous, Star Citizen, No Man's Sky, Satisfactory, Space Engineers, all those games in there, and this is the game that combines those the way I want to the most. EVE Online, I'm happy with kind of the way the stuff is worked, and kind of you know I'm happy with the way the I'm not going to calibrate that bad. And power. So even the No Man's Sky is a great game. Like I'm happy with No Man's Sky. I'm glad that they've gotten as far as they have, and the things that you can do in that game now. And it's in and of itself is a great game. I'm not happy with the inventory management in the game. The inventory management in that game is horrible. It gives me a headache thinking about the inventory management in that game. Um, I hate it so much. Uh, just because the inventory management is a disaster. You have all these different locations, and yeah, you have access to them, but trying to find things, and even be able to like just label freaking inventories is difficult. And then you have some inventories that are duplicated, so the ones on your ship and the ones on your base are duplicated, and like, so some of them are duplicated, other ones aren't. You can transfer stuff between your ship and this ship, and then you have 15 different ships that all have, because you can have 9 fighters now, or 9 spaceships, and each one of those has, can have massive inventories, and then trying to figure out which ship you put what in, and oh, it's just so much trouble. Whereas this one, and I've run into some of that where, well, which ship did I leave that in? Um, and I'm trying to bounce between my ships, trying to figure out which ship I left stuff in. But I can at least go and just put a sign on something in front that says, hey, this is, or this is whatever. I can just make massive, massive storage boxes. And then, even then, I can right click on it, set it as my linked container, and then just move stuff around as I can. So, like, even with this, when I get back, I'll probably take the entire contents of this ship up there, dump them into a single box, go to the planet, link to that box, and then move it to where I need to go. Have a basically have a sorting box where I throw all my loots into the storage box, and then I can connect to that for different ships, and then basically divide things up the way I need to. And it's hard to do that. Like, it's hard to, like, you can't even open 2 screens at once. Like, if I wanted to open 2 inventories at the same time at No Man's Sky, you can't do that. You have to open one inventory, tell you want to transfer it, and then you just have to go exactly which inventory you're moving into. And that's a level of mental gymnastics I'm just not willing to have to try to figure out. It's, at least this will be a little bit extra iron. At least the tier 1 materials anyway. So if you guys are looking for a game and you want to come play, like make sure you come join the Discord. Join us. Let us know that you're playing and that you're hanging out with us. No, you still there's no automated mining. Or no, the only mining that you have is the mining units. I as much as I would love to have a mining ship, I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. I just snoring over there. So I'm going to take this one. This is basically what this does is it makes, I think it makes atmo fuel. So it makes small containers and medium containers, and it makes nitron. And then not sure. And basically what it will do in the very beginning anyway, it will allow us to build, if there is a wipe, it will allow us to at least get small and medium containers out, as long as I have everything I need to be able to do this, and hopefully everything will be linked. And then I can just kind of set it back up real quick. This is peak space over here. I don't know if he's still coming. I have to do 1 meter. I don't think he's up. Maybe I'll wait before I head back. Make sure that he's got his stuff kind of figured out. I don't know if Nerdy gave me permission to do this stuff. And he kind of come in and played, and Nerdy does mostly Minecraft stuff. We're interested in trying to get him in here because if we can bring his Minecraft chisel and bits knowledge and get him to start using I think it's a tool. It looks like it's bad. I must still all of this thing. Yeah, so I think what happened was it just got overfilled. Can I change? So that will be just one medium container for this thing to output into. which unless I come back and calibrate it rather often, it's not. This is another protofly that I have. It's a cool starter ship. I kind of wanted to keep it because it's a cool starter ship. But the same note, I kind of want to. I may give them away. Just trying to keep them, just to keep them. Oh, here comes the fun part. See if I can actually get this thing landed on top of the AGG ship. Which is a lot easier said than done, especially for me. Flying fairly slow though, so this one I may be able to do it. And then, like, even then, like some of the little stuff with like Space Engineers, where like trying to do this at Space Engineers would be dang near impossible. Oh, no, I did it. I missed it. You to go over there. Gee, landing. Ready to go. The problem is this thing doesn't have a. What do you mean there's no construct to dock to? There's a construct right there. I should be able to dock to it. Hey, girl. What are you doing? Why are you painting so hard? No, it's a little warm in here, but geez. Alright, I don't think I'm going to be able to get it to land up there. It's being difficult. All right, so if anybody needs a protofly on Haven, let me know. Things being difficult, doesn't want to. Oh, somebody's Nova Corp speeders expired. Thought they weren't going to do that on the. Thought that wouldn't happen on this one. Oh well. Fine, just land. You'll be all right. You'll be all right. Just land. There you go. Good boy. All right. I think for the most part, this stuff is good. These things will run slowly and build a little bit of stuff. It'll put some more nitron in, put some stuff over here. I'll come back and get some gear. I may try to. I'm just gonna leave this here a little bit. I'm gonna probably try to get the protofly on the ship a little bit more. And we'll go. You know what? Wonder if there is. We got a radar. Where's that? We'll go over and see if there's anything good here. It's probably going to die here soon. It's a speeder, so probably not. It's probably somebody's starter base. But we may be able to find a. Like mining or something. Somebody was trying to do production. Looks like that's. Yeah, so somebody just didn't clean up after their salvaging operation. It's not hard, guys. I know, sometimes it does that, but you just do it again. They'll eventually go away. Somebody has a crap load of small miners. Like, just get the large one, dude. You'll be happier. We'll kind of poke around. It's been around since we've been some time since we've been on Haven, so I don't expect to see a lot of salvageable stuff on. Yeah, that's somebody near one of the markets. Like the amount of salvageable stuff that I expect to see on this planet is really small, unless it's on a market tile. Then you'll see stuff, but for the most part, I think all the stuff here you don't lose this. Log out or stop paying. I think the tiles here are still yours. Because you don't lose the tile. The tile's yours forever. Because you don't have to pay for it. I was just surprised to see derelict constructs. All right, maybe one more try. See if we can get it lined up there. Problem is, you have to hit like 15 keys all at once trying to get this thing to work right. So I've got to be going slow enough that I can actually land where I'm trying to land. And then I have to hit Alt-T when I'm directly above it so that it will kind of launch it at the same time, kind of be stopped on top of the ship. Yep, just barely missed it. It's, I don't know, for me it's trying to hit that. It's difficult to do, like and that's why I wanted the Nimbus, because with the Nimbus it makes it really easy to do it. um, oh, I had it. That was so close. But even earlier when I tried to do it, it seemed like it was almost like it didn't want to it didn't want to latch. So foolish. Yeah, see, it's no constructs to dock. Like, I don't know why it's not. Like, it just doesn't want to dock to it. Oh. I wonder if that's what's going on. I wonder who owns this ship. Because I think I transferred the Orca to Palmetto Gaming. Yep. I think that's doing it. Uh, good luck. Dang it. Ah, stay there and like it. Let's dock this one to it. I don't know what's going on with that thing then. Maybe I'm just going too fast or something. I don't know what the hell's going on. Yeah, it's so much easier to get the Nimbus on here. Then if I get in here, I think there's a thing. All right, so everybody's attached. Alt spacebar. Have it start going up and up and up and up and up and up and up. So we'll just start ascending. With that, I'm gonna start ascending. I'm gonna slow bolt my butt back to the other planet. We'll get all this stuff transferred over there, and then we will kind of go from there. So let's see if we can find some place to go hang out. That's anybody there speaking out to me. Who is in here today? Well, it looks like that's kind of dead too. Let's go back to here. You know what? I'm just gonna let Twitch do what Twitch does today, and we'll just let it go wherever it goes. With that, you guys be safe. We'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Y'all have a good weekend. Talk to y'all soon.